All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Heart to Heart podcast. My name's Hafiz, and this is the third season and eighth episode. Today we have a special guest, LaQuita. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Hafiz. And by the way, I love the fact that your name is Hafiz. I have no idea what it means, but it sounds really cool to say. So remind me to ask you that before we finish the podcast so you can tell me what it
For sure. Thank you so much. And you have a cool name too. I'm gonna be honest. It's really cool.
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love?
All right. So for those of you who don't know how this game works, we're gonna ask each other three lighthearted questions each, and we're gonna incorporate three random words into our answers. You ready to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right, let's get it. Okay, my first question for you is, if you were a soup, what kind of soup would you be? And your words are proof, summit, and century.
So I want to make sure did you say soup like the soup we eat or soup
That
like
one.
one to wear? Soup that I would eat?
Going, yeah.
Oh wow. So all right. Um I would probably be super Toscana, which is just basically meat, tomatoes, sausages, and it has Italian origin. And the reason that I would do that is because, my family is a military family, and I liked it at Olive Garden. But having spent some time in Italy was proof to me that the American version was garbage and the Italian version is better, and I can eat that for the rest of my life. And this soup has been around for centuries, and I had the pleasure of being able to have some of that soup at the summit of Mount Vesuvius. My husband had the bright idea to hike Mount Vesuvius once during a vacation that we had. And yeah, I won't talk about that one. I was not prepared for the height of that thing when I said, "Yeah, babe, I'll go." So at the summit of this, we're looking out across at the Mediterranean, and I'm enjoying the best bowl of soup I've ever had.
Nice. I gotta hear more about that story, but that's for later. That sounds really exciting though.
Mostly true. The hike happened. We looked across the Mediterranean, and I was not prepared. Now, I did not
That
eat the soup at the summit of the mountain, at
that's
the
all
summit
good.
of Mount Vesuvius, though I did eat the soup in Italy on that trip.
Nice, nice. Yeah, more of the view. I don't think I'm gonna experience that at least for a while. So the best I could do is, hear about it. That's what I'm
Okay.
going for right now.
All right. Yes. Amazing.
Perfect. Awesome. All right.
My question is, um, out of all of your experiences in university so far, what's your best experience?
The words.
And your words are Browns, Strap, and Qualified.
All right, so my I guess best experience at uni was probably when I played soccer. We won the whole tournament. Um, and the idea of winning in intramurals was very interesting. It was it was a very interesting experience. Let's call it that. There's a lot of ups and downs and whatnot. And like as soon as we qualified, we knew we were on the up. The ground that we used was also really cool. It was newly renovated and it was really cool. And I didn't get to play much on my end, but instead I was kind of that strap that held the team together, when things went sideways and whatnot. And I think that played a very important role. And so when we finally got to win it with my close friends, with some people I didn't know at all, it was a really cool experience. That's one of the things that's still up on um, not my post to be honest, because I kind of got rid of it. But like on one of my friends' posts, he still kept it up because of how important it was. I had to clean my page up for different reasons, so that's why I removed it. But it's still stored in my gallery, and it's one of the few things that I'm gonna look back and be like, yeah, that was a really cool moment.
It was really
Like literally
cool.
after the game, like after we won, we were given shirts that said champions. We walked around the student center and we were just showing off our shirts to random people. I know that's a very egotistical move. We had to listen. It was a very big thing for us, so we had fun with it.
I I don't know one athlete, including myself, who It's not egotistical at some point.
That's
Some of us tapered it off later in life, and some of us didn't. But hey, you
that's
have to be that uber confident to be an athlete. But
that is true.
when you were saying it, I was thinking maybe like my mind went to the goalie, like maybe the goalie strap on his gloves, to get ready. If the goalie wore
Ah,
gloves,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
if,
No, he does.
if
It's
they wore
outdoor. You
gloves.
have to like. We took it seriously. Like that was it was a serious game. It was like this was very physical as well. So it's like you kind of have to be all dressed up. We came with shin guards. We came. There's no even slight tackling,
Yeah,
by the
I
way.
was thinking that I was gonna say maybe they strapped on shin guards, but I didn't know, at your age, if you guys still, because that might affect you manly, if that was something that you wanted to wear with your shin guards or not. But
Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't required. There was not even slight tackling allowed, but we knew it was gonna get
real
very,
physical.
yeah, and maybe a bit
How
dirty
many
as well.
red and yellow
But
cards
we
went
came
up?
ready. Sorry?
How many red or yellow cards went up?
We had like it was like 3 or 4 yellow cards. We didn't have a red, thankfully. Um, yeah, yeah, we could have been. Yeah, could have been. There was one instance where it probably should have been, to be honest. But I digress. All right, all right. So my next question for you is, if you could be, okay, let me switch this around instead. If you could be, which one do you prefer, a pen or a pencil, and why? And your words are fund, first, and offend.
I would be, I prefer a pencil because, even if my funds are short, I can still get a pencil a lot cheaper than I can get a pen. And it's also they're my first go-to writing instrument because I love to just journal and write, and as random thoughts come to my mind, I'm able to go ahead and jot them down and write them down. But the power of that eraser is amazing because even when I'm answering something passionately, when I go back and look at it again, I can erase something that might offend someone if I'm not wanting to purposely offend anybody that day. So yeah,
Nice.
the
Nice,
power of the
nice.
eraser is amazing. The pen is
It's
kind of permanent.
it's more than amazing. It's spectacular. It's like I could mess up and not never mind. That sounds bad. Okay. Um
But that's the deal, though. Like with the pencil, you can mess up and erase. With the pen, I mean, you can still, but you gotta, mark that out and it's noticeable.
yeah.
If you have a
Yeah.
good eraser, unless you've done it so many times, it leaves that little smudgy mark. You're good.
Yeah.
Nobody ever know you did
That is true. That is true. It's good for being sneaky. I like it.
that. Well, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So my question is, um, so I'm a Marvel fan, believe it or not. I love Marvel. So what's your favorite Marvel movie? Yeah, whether it's movie or TV, because I had Disney Plus from the beginning. Was when we finish, I'm watching a new Hawkeye episode that just dropped. So like, what's your
Ooh.
favorite movie or favorite show from Marvel? And your 3 words are hurl, cord, and pity.
All right, listen, I'm not much of a movie type or TV show type. In fact, I pity the people who have went ahead and hurled their cord and switched to digital um what's it called? Streaming services because
Streaming services.
yeah, because like well, I use it too, but like if I could sit down on a TV and watch it in this like big environment and annoy everyone in the house, I'd prefer that. But but aside from that, I don't really watch many shows. Like, that's the one thing that everyone looks at me and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Like, but I don't really have I don't even know if I watched many of them. Like the only I might have seen like glimpses of them here and there, but like I haven't really seen I don't think I've seen any one full episode or full movie or something like that.
Like, I'm so shocked. Like, this smile is different. I am so shocked. So remind me offline,
Yeah.
if you should happen to scroll through, I'll give you some, well, at least some of my favorite highlights
You know what?
of
I do. I
some of
would
the Disney
appreciate that.
shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Can you
are,
give me some
that are coming out.
suggestions, you know? Mondays I
Yeah, I
get
got to give
so
you some
bored. Yeah.
suggestions. Yeah, like I'm literally that person that sits up and watches CBR and a couple of different ones on YouTube. And these
Nice.
guys, sometimes they get it right, but their speculations are just like off the chain interesting. Like you don't even know, but this sounds great. I'd like to see it if it happens.
That's amazing. I don't think I could relate much, but yes. Awesome. Okay. All right. So my last question for you is, all right, let's see what okay, what's your favorite dessert and why? And your words are performance, my, give.
So my favorite dessert is a peanut butter cookie. Um, and it's my favorite because it was like the first thing that I learned how to bake as a little kid. And my grandmother taught me how to do that. And she would give me so many opportunities to come into the kitchen and watch her. And when I got big enough, that was, like I said, that was the first thing she taught me how to bake. Now, to this day, I don't know if that first performance, my first one off performance with cooking these things by myself was great, but she made it seem like that they were the best cookies on the planet. Uh, and now, as a grandmother, I know she was probably lying, but she'll never tell me.
Yo, I rate that. That's actually that's amazing of her to do that, to be honest. It's like, cause especially when you're starting, you need that boost, right? A lot of
You
people
do.
just yeah, a lot of people just give up initially if they think they're not good at it. But when you're given that boost, it's like it helps you move forward and whatnot.
It
Um,
does. It does. And
yeah,
and that was 100% true. So my grandmother is like one of the best baker ever, probably
that's amazing.
because I'm partial, but she's amazing. And she
Yeah,
would, it didn't matter. All of us would come to her house on the weekend, and it was a lot of us cousins, grandkids, a lot of her grandkids, and she would just let us make the biggest mess in her kitchen, trying to learn how to bake sweets because she'd always bake sweets on Saturday nights.
that's amazing. Oh my God, that's an amazing. That's very inspiring, honestly. That's that's amazing.
So now my last question.
Mhm.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Hmm. If there was one thing that you could change about the college experience at your university, like there was one thing that you thought was the stupidest thing that you had to do, like that's a requirement for all students coming into your university. If you could change that and make it optional, what would it be?
Okay, I already came up with one off the top of my head because it's been there. Okay, so
And well,
um,
let me give you your words. Hold on,
sorry,
because I
sorry,
keep
I got
forgetting to do that.
excited.
I keep
I
forgetting
got
to do
really
that. So
excited.
yeah, so it's exemption, brainstorm, and incident. Like exemption,
Okay,
brainstorming, incident, and the whatever mandatory thing that you think is just the dumbest thing ever.
yeah.
You could make that
Okay.
optional. Do away with it.
All right, listen. I know there are certain exemptions to this specific scenario, but it rarely happens. But I've done a lot of brainstorming on this, and it's the idea of requiring every student in the faculty, so our specific faculty is the Faculty of Liberal Arts and Professional Studies, and
Mhm.
every student is required to do a humanities, a social science, and a natural science. All right,
Mm.
and um, honestly, it's the most stupid thing ever because all the courses in humanities and social science, in my opinion, are absolutely useless. They're also annoying to do. So I absolutely like I hate it in every way, and I'm not the only one who hates it. Pretty much everyone hates. In fact, I think the reason why these became requirements is at some point they had an incident where not many people took a humanities major or a
Mm.
social science major, or a natural science major. Why is that a thing, by the way? But no one has taken enough of those, and as a way of keeping those alive, they decided to make everyone take it instead. Absolutely stupid. Should have changed a long time ago. Yeah, I don't have much more to say.
I know. You know what? I can't disagree with you. I if like if it was in my power to change how um, school in general worked past middle school, it would be to eliminate a lot of, well, to give choices. So if you know that you are, I don't know, say, let's say robotics, because STEM is a thing, or right now, digital marketing or social media marketing. If I knew I wanted to be a social media marketer, why do I need to take things that are irrelevant to what I'm going to do for the rest of my life just because? I took
Yeah.
that for 12 years. Why do I need to take another whole year of core courses and
Yeah.
waste my money? Let me just move into the business of learning what I need to learn in order to be what I want to be. So yeah,
I think
I'm an
that's
advocate
actually
of that.
I think that's actually a great segue outside of the gaming part into a discussion part. So, um, I'm with you on that. To a certain degree though, I do think a lot of, like, at least me when I was in high school, I didn't want to take certain courses because I was too lazy per se. And
Mm-hmm,
like, if when laziness plays a factor in it, it is more beneficial to take it. With that being said, as you suggested, if people want to do other courses, I
mm-hmm,
think that should be made an option.
mm-hmm,
Um, and I know, like, this is why a lot of people graduate high school and university and still don't know what they're doing with their life, right? They're kind of
mm-hmm.
shoved into university outside, like from high school directly to university, not knowing what they want to do. I was one of those when I graduated. I have a crazy story, but I'm gonna summarize it real quick. When I graduated, I knew I wanted to do something teaching related, so I applied for teacher education, but I didn't realize I didn't even know what a double major was. But apparently, I have to major in something else and that, and so I literally picked the science program. I realized I hated science. I switched out of science. And then I switched out of science to accounting. I realized I hated accounting. I switched out of that. All this within the span of 1 year, by the way. And after that, I settled. Like right now, I'm studying HR, and I settled. But still,
Niggas
I
like
there's
that.
no
Oh,
way I
ooh,
would have known
okay.
what it was by then. Like absolutely not.
Nobody knows that.
Like
You
few people know, but like now everyone does.
let's just hope the family doesn't hear this episode
Oh no,
before
they know
you
about it.
come
They know
back.
about it. No, no, no. They
They
know
know
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then you're
They were with
good. Then
me.
you're good.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I got made fun
But
of, but that's okay.
yeah, because send me an email to let me know when you switch out of HR, unless you just
I'm not such a good HR. This is it. This is the final switching. See, one of the things that I really learned recently, like during the pandemic and whatnot, it's that there's a lot of opportunities to make a career out of things outside of university. It's kind of what I
Mhm,
shifted my focus outside of. And I think that's been more beneficial. It doesn't cost as much. A lot
mhm,
of services are going digital, and because of that, um,
mhm.
that's also something you could generally learn without paying much money. So yeah, I'm not switching out of HR. No, this is it.
You sure?
I'm
Are you sure?
100%
Sure.
sure.
I mean,
That's
HR. Don't get me wrong. HR is a good field, and it's very diverse. So you can, use that track and go a lot of different ways. So like diversity, inclusion, equity is a big, it's a hot button thing right now. And that falls in the line with in the HR realm. So if you wanted to be a speaker coach, facilitator, or you wanted to um, be over HR or in HR in some major company, or even if you decide you want to start your own business, knowing HR is a good help to start, depending, no matter what you do. If you're going to say, okay, I want my company to have, 3, 4, 5 different employees, well, then you already have a working understanding of all of the compliances that you have to meet, et cetera, and so forth. So if you like that, then, you know,
literally I picked HR because it's the least annoying of my options. So,
it's
um,
least annoying of your options.
yes.
Wow, you sound just like my kid. You sound just like my kid.
Like,
The
I'm
youngest one,
sorry.
that
There are not many.
I know he's gonna switch again. I just know it. I'm not mad about
I
it,
mean, I mean,
but I know it's gonna happen.
there comes a time when like switching is unnecessary, right? There comes a time when maybe university isn't the right thing for you, but it's always a good
Hmm.
idea to have a degree.
Hmm.
Um, at some point, hopefully he realizes that. Um, but
It's so like one of the things that me and my husband had to learn, and because we really push for our kids, have a, you going to college, get a degree, get a degree in something that you want to do, so that you can make the money that you want to make, and which was really somewhat true in our generation. And I put somewhat out there because even then there were opportunities outside of 4 year university. You just had to know how to find those opportunities and how to capitalize on those opportunities. But in you guys' generation and with the um, access to the World Wide Web literally at my fingertips all the time, the opportunities are out there, you guys can capitalize on much quicker than past generations. And so that makes the debt of university optional for you. If you want to do it, do it. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But you do need to know what you're going to do to make money. Even for those guys that are listening and they're at university and within themselves, they absolutely know that I'm not doing this when I graduate. But I can't tell my parents that because who wants to hear that from them right now? Like, I don't want to hear that from them right now. I'll deal with it later. So even there, the thing is there. The college experience is the experience. Even if you finish with HR, you have absolutely positively in the middle of this thing, you figure this is not what I want to do. I'm not going to do this, but I am not changing again. Fine. But what experience did you have? That college experience, taking that you've tried a little bit of everything and you have different experience in it, and it shaped you. It's helped to shape you from a personal development standpoint. And that's the key in the adult life. Like, not that you're not an adult, but when I'm out 100% on my own, and some university students are already there. Their parents are not paying a dime. They're figuring it out on their own, and they've got to do that. So whatever it is you're doing, whether you know you're going to go into that career that's associated with your degree, whether you're going into entrepreneurship, um, whether you're going into and whether it's a for-profit or not for profit that you want to work for as a W-2 employee, personal development is necessary. And you're doing that part of the personal development, laying that foundation through the different university classes that you're taking. Because on the other side of that diploma, you better know who you are, your strength, your weaknesses. You need to have a plan mapped out of how I'm going to develop personally. Because I assure you, um, that on your job, they may have a PD that's designed to help you know what you need to do in order to elevate in your career, but they don't have anything and it's not their job to help you develop as a person. So whatever success is looking like for you after the degree, putting the time and the energy and the effort to knowing yourself and helping yourself develop as a person helps to set you up for success in whatever it is you want to do to make money.
yeah, that's a really really good point. That's actually one of the things that, or one of the reasons why I do not regret. In fact, I'm very thankful for being able to go to university. It's the opportunity to explore per se. Now, it is a very expensive exploration. However, I don't think I would have been the person I am today if I didn't get a chance to.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't the classes. I don't think it was the classes at all. It was the extracurricular activities that I managed to do and that I'm still doing. Those allowed me to build a lot of skills that are helpful in terms of how I live my life right now, in terms of how I plan to live my life in the future, as well as just knowing how I operate in general. Like, I learned so much about who I am just by trying out new things,
Mhm.
by pushing doing things that if you asked high school me, I probably wouldn't have done at all, right? And I think that's the best part of university.
Mm-hmm.
Like outside of, I'm not a big fan of like the actual schoolwork aspect of it. I get why it's there, but like I more so prefer the less boring stuff. Like I just gotta say straight up.
Like the
So
social aspects of it. But
mhm,
you hit some very valid points. I mean, that is a big part of the college experience. Yes, the schoolwork part, getting good grades, all of that great jazz, but it's about the new things that you try, the new people that you meet, and the new experience, your new experiences that you have, whether it's through your intramurals or if you're on one of the sports team at your university, and the travel, a lot of times, a lot of kids when they come into university, a lot of them may not have traveled outside of that small circle that's their hometown, except for, okay, whatever schools your team plays in, whatever division they were in, I may travel with the team to go to this place and then come right back. But say they actually went there on vacation and got to explore and do different things. A lot of kids don't get to do that prior to coming into university. But then I come in, even if you're in a major city where there's a melting pot of people, uh, in general, people are territorial by nature, and we do those things that we're comfortable and that are common to us. But when we go to university, all of those people and things and stuff that we would have never on purpose did, like the high school you can't on purpose avoid it in the university. I mean, you can, but you'll be a miserable university student if you do.
yeah.
You don't even get to pick your roommate. So,
Yeah, and actually, just to touch up on the point that you just stated, I know a lot of people who have came into university, just did schoolwork and went out, and I don't think I've heard a single person who's done that who did enjoy university. Like everyone else is just trash talking the university, and like I trash talk it too. It deserves some trash talking, like that's goes without saying. But there's a level of it too. There's certain aspects that you could be like, hey, it was also a pretty cool experience, right? There's some people who literally have no positive experience from university, and I think that's because they didn't really get a chance to do anything aside from stress about school and like complete their degree and whatnot. And you know what? If that's the life you want, like go for it. But
mhm,
I don't think that's the
that's not the
optimal.
full university experience.
Yeah, and it's a waste of money if you ask me to. Like if it gets you your job and like a job that you really want and you can continue on with it, all power to you. But I think I read a statistic that said like 90% of the people who graduate with the program don't end up in the degree that they're in. So it's
Mm,
like at the very least gain some other form of
mm,
of,
yeah,
of benefit from it, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And for me, the biggest takeaway, like my son and I were having a conversation recently, and he was saying, "Mom, I want to change universities and go to another university." And so, of course, I asked him why, and he told me, I said, "Aha, okay. Well, are there any positive things about your university?" And then so after we went through the whole spiel of the things that he doesn't like, he does have a friend group. There is a social circle. He is getting to do things that he would not have done before. And one of the things that he told me was the reason that he was okay with staying until next year and not starting a different university until August is because of his friend group. The He plays football for his school and he loves his football team, but he also has found he loves basketball. So he plays intramural basketball and has made amazing friends playing intramural basketball, um, hanging out and just doing different things with the different people who are from different places across the country. And that has kept him solid at school. Does he still want to leave and go to a different school because some of the kids from his high school are going to that school? Yes, I get that. But that college experience, it wasn't about just going to class and just making the grade. Like he has to do that part to keep us off his back. But he is enjoying the college experience, which is what we wanted him to do. Like, yes, you're gonna make the grade, but enjoy the full college experience and give it a chance. The kids that you go, you do the work, and that's all you do, they're missing the 99% reason why you're there in the first place.
Yes.
Just my
Yes.
opinion, sitting on
Yeah,
this
yeah,
side of
yeah.
life.
Facts.
Don't miss that part. Don't overindulge, but don't miss that part.
Yeah. It's like you're there for a reason. You're also like school. The whole point of school is to learn things, right? Like you have
Right.
to take that aspect of it as well. But like it's a bit of both is what completes the experience. My question to you right now. What advice? So we've been talking a lot about university and whatnot. If I was to ask you, what advice would you give to a someone in their 20s? Okay, so let's say, irrespective of whether they are in university or not, just
Mhm.
someone in their 20s. What advice would you give them?
Great question. So I would tell that person to make sure you know who you are. Know who you are. Knowing your identity is directly related to knowing your purpose. When those two things come together, we won't waste time chasing images and dreams of what success looks like based off of the shiny stuff we see on social media and on TV and movies and whatnot. But when you know who you are at that age, like if I can go back and tell the younger me anything, it would be breathe, slow down, breathe, know yourself, know your purpose, and map out your plan. And don't let anything or anybody interfere with that plan. Only let the people in your circle who are going to help facilitate you achieving your goal. And facilitating that can be anything from being your number one cheerleader to actually being able to help you network and get in the places you need to open the doors you need open. Because our inner circle, those relationships should be reciprocal. Like this give and take. You know, you may be wanting to be again the social media manager mogul. They may be wanting, to invent, you know, the next best break in stem cell research. But the thing is, you're two driven people, and driven people help each other. They feed off of each other.
Yeah.
Know how to
So
place them in your life. Know who you are. Know your purpose, and know how to place people in your life.
so how does someone find who they are?
That's a good question. So you'd be amazed. There's some 40, 50, 60 plus year old people that have asked me the same question just Sunday. So for me, if the advice that I give is if you don't quite know who you are, I like to spend quiet time in meditation. Um, I am a Christian, so I enjoy prayer, and I start my day in meditation. And in that meditation, that prayer time, I keep something to write with, which is a pencil, and something to write on. And at the end of that, I just jot down whatever thoughts are coming to my mind, whatever emotions that I'm feeling, just random. It doesn't have to be in order. I just jot it down. And I do that consistently. And then I can go back and look at those random thoughts, the things that I've jotted down. And then you can begin to see the consistencies. It's like when you were in middle school and your teacher was trying to teach you how to write an essay and you did the outline and the rough draft, and then you bring all that together to come up with a plan. You'll see that there's some consistencies in a lot of the positive and the negative things, and they come together to help you figure out who you are. You know? For
It's
me, it's
amazing.
something that I pray about. That when I was younger, I prayed about them, and I jotted those things down. And what I came up with in those consistencies um, resonated with me. It was this is something that I would do and do it for free. I mean, this resonates. This is who I am. This is what I'm called to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm fully with you on that. I actually really like that technique. I've always advocated for journaling. I wish I do it more than I actually do right now. Um, but I do advocate for it a lot, and I take a lot of time to, I guess, mentally journal if that's a thing. Just take a lot of time to like really. This usually happens at night right before I go to bed. I'll just like reanalyze the entire day, and I'll be like,
Yep.
okay, okay, and then I plan the next day out, or I try to plan the next day out.
Try to plan the next
Um,
day. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But like prayer is something that how do I put it? It's very important. It's a way of bringing. Okay, so I'm a firm believer that we as humans are not able to successfully navigate our life with ease without external help. I strongly believe in that. And prayer really helps. Believing that there's a higher power, right? Believing that God exists is really huge, especially in situations where you feel defeated. It's that last resort thing that will always be there regardless of what happens. Something
Right.
that you can't say about not believing in a higher power. Let's use the term higher power, but like not believing in God specifically.
Yeah.
So prayer is so helpful. It's relaxing because you kind of have to focus on that, and when you're focusing on that, you're not worrying about other things that are consuming your mind and so on and so forth. So that was a really good point there. What if someone, let's say they do all the journaling and
Hmm.
they find a lot of negative thoughts in those journaling,
Yep.
but they don't like that? What do they do?
So, another great question. And there is a strong possibility that that would happen. Um, Whether the person uh, believes in God or whether they don't. The fact of the matter is, we all have emotions, no matter what we believe in. We all have emotions. Now, it's understanding what to do with those emotions. Are we going to let those emotions dictate how we operate, and whether we are happy, sad? Are we going to let that dictate who we are, or are we going to use those emotions as indicators to help us figure out what's the problem? So, like, we all understand that the common cold, there is no cure because all we can do is suppress the symptoms. However, with, say, a clogged artery, well, not only can they unclog the artery, but they can tell you why the artery got clogged in the first place. They were able to figure out you had that clogged artery because of some symptoms that you were experiencing with your illness. That's what those negative emotions are there for. Those negative emotions are indicators that something is wrong in my emotions, in my spirit. I am a firm believer that as humans, we are a triune being. Um, and inside of that is our mind, our will, and our emotions inside of our soulish realm. We're spiritual and yet we're natural. And my mind, my will, and my emotions are where those emotions are housed. And those emotions tell me if something's right or if something's wrong. So if all those negatives keep coming out, what's causing it? And again, will you see a pattern? Will you see a pattern of particular negative emotions? One of the things, I am a firm advocate of mental health. Seek out mental health like you go to the dentist to get your teeth clean. You don't just go, I go and annually get my teeth clean. So I should have checks with my mental health professional and have that journal in that session, and they can help you figure out what the problem is. So whether I'm angry all the time, I'm never happy, the littlest thing turns me into a rage. Well, baby, what's your trigger? And what caused that trigger? Why is that existing? Is it that you're just a mad, angry individual? Or on the inside, is that you're just very, very fearful, and that fear is coming out in the form of anger, or that fear is coming out in the form of laughter, or that you're covering up fear by being this person that's got to be extraordinarily perfect at everything. Like, map out write those emotions down, and you see that that pattern is consistent. My next step that I tell my coaching clients is seek out a mental health professional. As a coach, I'm not qualified to go there with you, but I am qualified to say, yeah, that's a pattern of a problem. And I'm going to strongly suggest that you seek out a mental health professional that can help you sort out what's causing those emotions.
Yeah, that's amazing. I have one more follow-up question on this specific topic. Um, what do you say to someone who is a perfectionist and who, um, I guess, strays away from things that they're not good at because they, I don't know, see it as a failure or something along the lines of that?
So first of all, they're missing out on a lot of fun in life, lots and lots of fun in life. And perfectionism actually kills and stagnates your progress. It actually kills and stagnates a lot of opportunities because what you see as perfection or it's not perfect could and not doing it until it's perfect, you're hindering a lot of people around you and you're hindering yourself. So uh, again, let's just use someone who's good in engineering and they built this amazing thing that's going to be the next best solution um, to stem cell research, but to them it's not perfect. So they're just hoarding all of their research privately instead of making that research available when other people around you could actually help you perfect that thing. Perfectionism, it's not a good thing. I'm not saying just hand in trash and do trash things. We want to do things in excellence, but perfectionism, no, that's it hurts you more than it helps you. It hurts you more than it helps you. Yeah.
Totally with you on that. And I think that was one of the things that I nailed in at uni. It was like one of the things that, like, I was never a perfectionist per se, but there were times when I would avoid doing things before because I think I would do terrible at it.
Mhm.
But once I'm at uni, it's like, yo, who cares? Like, who gives a shit anymore? It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Come on,
yeah,
just do. I
yeah,
mean, like a person who struggles with perfectionism, I would say, okay, as a young person, a student, you guys have a lot of access to all types of personality indicator tools. Um, one of the personality indicator tools, whether it's in one of your social sciences courses or if it's at one of the student help centers and what that can help that person do. Because if you've been a perfectionist like this for a long time, you don't see it as a problem. You see it as a positive aspect of who you are. And it's um, like the things that are going around social media right now really popular with the red flag. Everything is a red flag, right? Well, the way that a flag is designed, that little flag in particular, if it's pointing this way, but the red flag belongs to me, can I see that flag? It
oh,
the way that I
yeah,
can't even see it,
yeah,
but you can see that red flag plain as day, but I can't see it. There's a bunch of them just like this. I
yeah.
can't see it because of the way that it's shaped and the way that it's positioned. That personality indicator, when it comes back, it points the red flags like this to the
Okay,
person.
yeah,
And not only does it show you your strengths and your weaknesses, it shows you your strengths and it also shows you your weaknesses. And it gives great tips on how to grow in those weaknesses.
that's amazing. That's amazing. I never thought of it like that, to be honest. So I do not know in life.
Hmm, that's a difficult one because I don't know you that well. um, hmm, let's see. I'll go with again a conversation I had in a conference I was speaking at on Sunday. Um, what success looks like to you right now will not be what success looks like to you in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Change is good, and human nature generally fights change. Flow with it. Flow with the change. Life is about adapting and moving forward. And it's 100% okay that success, the definition of it, you define it. Don't let outside people and influences define it. And it's okay that that success definition changes as you grow and mature. So when I was your age, success was about, a lot of materialistic things. Not that I had family at that time, husband and kids, but it was more about making sure that as a family, we had everything that we needed and could still have fun. That was success. To me now, Success is just, you know, about my peace of mind, vacations, hanging out with my friends, knowing that my family is okay, not just monetarily, but just they're good. And at the end of the day, I can end my day peacefully with my favorite book, my favorite YouTube video, and sitting on this couch and just being happy. Like where I am in my life right now, success has very little to do with money. Very little to do with money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. It is. It's literally a moving goalpost. And it's good that it's that way, to be honest, because it'd be kind of sad if it stayed the same all along, to be honest, because that's part of growth is adapting to different environments and understanding different things. So definitely. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is one of the longer episodes, and I'm kind of glad it is. So
Man, I am so sorry that we went outside
yeah.
of that time.
No, no, no,
That
no, no,
time.
no. I'm glad. No, you said a lot of useful things, a lot of really helpful things. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Any last ways to end it off real quick? Or
Um, I guess I'll just share with the audience how they can find me. Just Google LaQuita Monley, and all things LaQuita Monley will come up. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Haven't figured out the TikTok and the Snapchat yet.
how about Instagram?
So
You use Instagram?
I am on Instagram. Like if
Yes, okay.
you can find me on Snapchat and TikTok. I just have no content. I'm still trying to work that out on
Got it.
how to show up there. But you know, just to remind them, as we are all unique individuals. We've been crafted and fearfully and wonderfully made. It's very important that each of us finds our own place of courage, destiny, and power. Find it, come into agreement with it, own it, rock it, and be unapologetic about it.
Awesome. That's the best way to end it. I can't ask for anything more. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful episode. And yeah, I'll just check her out. I'm gonna put the information probably in the description down below. So just check it out. And yeah, thank you so much for hopping on. It was really nice talking to you. And I will see everyone later. Take care.